When you organize your space and you set it up in a way that works with your mind, you are simply more productive. In the words of James Clear, motivation is overvalued, environment often matters much more. In this video, I want to talk about designing your environment in a way that makes you more productive. What I love about environment design is that it is highly actionable. Everything that I talk about in this video is something that you can do something about immediately. And not only is it highly actionable, it's also highly impactful. The littlest tweak to your environment can impact your routines, your days, how you feel in your life. Moving one thing from one place to another can have such a big impact that you don't even realize. Number one, start out by making things visible. In the book An Organized Mind by Daniel Levitin, he talks about how if you have run out of milk, you could by all means put a note in the car so that on the way home you remember to buy it. But a way more effective way to remember to buy the milk on the way home would be to take the empty milk carton and put it on your passenger seat. It's this highly visible reminder. When you step in the car, it's likely that you'll notice an empty milk carton sitting in the passenger seat. And all it did was make that reminder really visual and really visible. How can you apply the rule of visibility to make your space more productive? For example, for me, I really benefit from having a little map of my day. A time block, a to-do list, it all helps me so much. But it doesn't help me if I don't see it. So I make a point to have my planner open, to have it visible, to have it literally right near my hand when I'm using my mouse. So that as I work, if I'm asking myself, what do I need to do next? What's something else I need to work on? I immediately look to my left and I can see exactly what I should be doing next. And as you're asking that question, how can I make things more visible? That's something you might want to ask yourself. How can you make your time block, your to-do list, your focus list, whatever it is that you already might use to make yourself productive, more visible in your space? Because if you're not seeing it regularly, if it's not in your face, it's very easy to ignore it. Another way that I have embraced the rule of visibility is with my time timer. I thrive when I do chunks of work and then a break, chunks of work and then a break. But when I have a Pomodoro on my phone, I end up on Instagram. And when I do a Pomodoro on my computer, it gets minimized and I forget about it. So I decided to apply the rule of making things visible and I got a time timer, making my Pomodoro habit highly visible and hard to miss. Ask yourself the question, what makes me more productive and how can I make that more visible? Think milk carton versus post-it note. Another way to organize your space to be more productive is to organize by context. If your books are stored with a notebook, you're more likely to take notes on the books that you read. If your matches are stored with your candle, you're more likely to light a candle every once in a while. If your notebooks are stored with your pencils, you are more likely to get out your notebooks and draw. And if your planner is stored with a pen, you're more likely to actually write in your planner. You can also swap this around if you want to get into the habit of reading, but your glasses are stored in the bedroom, you do your reading in the lounge room, you're gonna be less likely to read. If you want to start putting sunscreen on, but the sunscreen's in the bathroom, not near your walking clothes, you're less likely to put on sunscreen, and so on and so forth. Consider how you can organize your space by context and organize items that need to be used together to make you more productive. Next up, create openness. Make it easy to access, make it easy to put back. I will live and die by this rule, particularly for people who struggle to keep their space organized, which was me. As soon as I started applying this rule in my life, I noticed a big difference in how organized my space would feel around me. Clear countertops, minimalist bench spaces are so enviable. I love them. I want them. Do they work for my brain? No. If you're like me and hiding everything means that your healthy habits become harder, you need to throw minimalism in the trash for specific circumstances. Make things easy to access and easy to put back. As part of the make things easy part of this rule, I encourage having double ups. If you always forget shoes on your afternoon walk and you're in a privileged position where you can, buy shoes for your car. If you struggle with taking your vitamins in the morning and you need some for your handbag as well as on the bench top, get 2 sets of vitamins. If you forget to put on sunscreen, like me, have sunscreen strategically placed in every area of the house so that you can't forget it. Next up, store things vertically. This links back to make everything easy to access. Store everything vertically. Another rule that I will live and die by because I've applied it in every area of my home and it's had such an impact. When you store things on top of each other, this is what happens after a while.
Usually they're more like chucked, but I did fold them just for you. Petting my shorts.
It looks beautiful at first and then it turns into an absolute mess. If you store things vertically, things are easier to access and they are easier to put back. Store your books, your clothes, your cards, everything vertically. This one is highly actionable and it is declutter your digital space. I am big on decluttering your physical space because when I did a huge KonMari of my life, it changed my life. But something that isn't as talked about is decluttering your digital space. To improve your productivity, don't just do a declutter of your digital space, but also apply what you know about organizing your space in the physical realm to your online space too. Even if it's just from this video. You can't store things vertically online, but you can store things by context. And you can make things easy to access and easy to pre-save. If you want to go through a digital declutter, I have a full video that walks you through step by step how to declutter your digital space. I've had comments like this on it, and it's something that I plan on revisiting at least once a year. Left of field, but put some books underneath your computer monitor. If your computer is not eye level, you are going to have so many problems with your neck. Do you want a Dowger's hump? No. I give full credit to my partner for my aggressiveness on this topic. At my old workplace, we did workplace assessments of our computers all of the time. Did I take them seriously? No. Until my neck really started aching, and then I needed to put my monitor at eye level and I felt so much better for it. Not only should you chuck some books under your monitor, or a monitor stand, if you will, get an ergonomic chair, get a footrest, do a workplace assessment at home. Pain makes you less productive, and doing this now will make you more productive in 10 years time. Next up, set up automations on your computer, your iPad, or your phone, whatever devices you use often. Design your technology so that it works for you, not so that you're working for it. I make the healthy habit of journaling easy of a morning with my journaling shortcut on my iPad. It takes me straight to my Notion journaling page. This is where I would say that Android and Windows users win. I don't know for sure, but from my understanding, it's easier to run automations on anything outside of Apple. On my Mac, I use Keyboard Maestro. You can set up automations based on time, based on login. On my iPhone, I use shortcuts. I think Android has something called Automate and Tasker that probably do better things than what we can do on our iPhone. Next up, make inspiration visible. Seeing your goals every day, whether you're paying attention to them or not, is going to influence you. You'll pay attention to different opportunities, you will take different actions if you are being inspired by your goals on a daily basis. I talked about this more in depth in my video on how to make 2021 your best year ever. I'm gonna have that linked down below as well as up here. One way that I make inspiration visible is firstly my daily planner. I have my goals written out every single day so it keeps me focused. Also, I have my digital desktop vision board. I am convinced that this vision board is constantly influencing me. I barely pay attention to it, like I'm not usually looking at it actively, but every time I check it, I'm like, oh, I've been doing things about that and I totally forgot that I put that on there. I'm just constantly making decisions and changes in line with this vision board that I semi-forget about, that works in the background. In any way that you can, I think you should be creating visible inspiration that moves you further towards your goals. Whether it's consciously or subconsciously, it's going to influence you. Put uncategorized stuff together. When something comes into your space, whether it is a gift from someone, a random cord that came with your Bluetooth player, a bunch of webcam hiders that came in a pack that you're not sure what to do with, a bunch of cards for your birthday, some junk mail, no matter what it is, you should have a space for those uncategorized items. A home of uncategorized stuff. What this does is it stops you from putting your random new things into random new places where they don't belong, and it gives you a second to pause on anything new that comes into your life. This is particularly helpful with gifts. For example, if you're gifted face wash, you might just take it, stuff it with all of your other face stuff, but in reality, you know you're never going to use face wash. You have dry skin. That is not made for your dry skin. You get a birthday card from your workplace that you're never going to revisit again, but instead of deciding to discard it, you just kind of want to get it out of the way, so you put it somewhere and you never look at it again. Someone gives you a business card, you store it in your wallet even though you have no intention of grabbing it out. Instead, when you receive random things, particularly from other people, don't immediately put them away in homes. Put them in a space for the uncategorized and then set aside some time when you can intentionally put those things away. For me, anything that I'm not 100% sure about will usually go into my inbox, particularly if it's paper-based. You might end up taking that item and putting it in a great home, or you might end up taking it really realizing it's not for you, gifting it to someone else in your life, or discarding it or donating it. This is helpful for people who go through a decluttering process but then struggle to keep things decluttered. It'll help you to be intentional about not letting that clutter build up because of things other people might be giving you, or even things that you randomly pick up that you're not totally sure on. Revisit your systems regularly. This piece of advice is for anyone who uses an online tool and it is a bit risky, because it would be easy to take this piece of advice and then use it to purely waste time. But I do believe that you should be carving out time to revisit the spaces where you're storing organized information, whether that is for your projects that you're working on, the goals that you are working on, your to-dos. You need to be carving out intentional time to make sure that information is current and usable. I organize a lot of information online, and sometimes I create these spaces that I'm like, that's going to be really, really helpful, and then it is not helpful. To give you an example, a while ago I decided I'm gonna move everything to Notion. I'm gonna store all of my receipts in Notion. It didn't take me long to realize that wasn't very functional. I would never be storing my receipts in Notion. It just created more work for me to do. And the more work it is to do something, the less likely you are to do it. So I revisited and I changed my approach. I went back to what I was using, which was working just fine. Maybe you've created a workout schedule or a meal planner in Asana, or maybe you have put together a goal planning spreadsheet in Excel. If there are things that you know would be helpful to your life if they were just functional, it is worth revisiting them. An organized productivity system, an organized note-taking system can impact whether you are creating stuff with ease or with difficulty. It can impact whether you are procrastinating or productive, whether you meal prep on Sundays, then you take book notes, or whether you absolutely do not. I like to consider rules that apply to my physical space when it comes to my digital space. So how can you make things easy? How can you make them visible? How can you make them more functional? How can you store things of the same context in one area? It all applies online. This is something that I think that you should revisit maybe once a quarter so that you don't get caught up in just organizing all your information, making it pretty, making it aesthetic, but then never using it. If you liked this video, you'll probably like my playlist that is all focused on organizing your life with a bunch more practical, actionable tips that you can take and use in your life. I appreciate you so much. Have I told you lately? You are so appreciated. You are so worthy. You are so loved. All my people are amazing. Sending you all of the love, and I will see you very soon.